Ready, start. Section 2 within bracket C of the Act defines enemy property to mean any property for the time being belonging to or held or managed on behalf of an enemy, an enemy subject or an enemy firm, even when an enemy subject dies in the territories to which the act extends, or dies in any territory outside India, any property which immediately before his death, belonged to or was held by him or was managed on his behalf, may, notwithstanding his death, continue to be regarded as enemy property for the purposes of the Act. Full stop. Act, when enacted, extended to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and it applies also to all citizens of India outside India and to branches and agencies outside India of companies or bodies corporate registered or incorporated in India. Full stop. On a combined reading of the above, it is clear that the Act applies to any property belonging to or held or managed on behalf of an enemy, an enemy subject or an enemy firm, even if, the enemy or enemy subject or enemy firm is outside India, and to branches and agencies outside India of companies or bodies corporate registered or incorporated in India. Full stop. That as per explanation within bracket 1, it is clarified that double inverted comma enemy property double inverted comma close shall, notwithstanding that the enemy or the enemy subject or the enemy firm has ceased to be an enemy due to death, extinction, winding up of business or change of nationality, or that the legal heir and successor is a citizen of India or the citizen of a country which is not an enemy, continue and always be deemed to be continued as an enemy property. Full stop. Explanation within bracket 2 states that the expression enemy property shall mean and include and shall be deemed to have always meant and included all rights, titles and interest in, or any benefit arising out of, enemy property in the context of such property for the time being belonging to or held or managed on behalf of an enemy, an enemy subject or an enemy firm. Full stop. The explanation to subsection within bracket 3 of section 5 of the Act also states that for the purposes of this subsection, double inverted enemy property vested in the custodians, double inverted close, shall include and shall always be deemed to have been included all rights, titles, and interest in, or any benefit arising out of, such property vested in him under the Act. Full stop. Therefore, the moot question is, what is the nature and extent of rights, titles, and interest in, or any benefit arising out of, such property which is vested in the custodian? Question mark. Does it mean vesting of the ownership of the rights, titles, and interest in, or any benefit arising out of such enemy property owned by the enemy which becomes vested in the custodian, in the sense that the custodian becomes the owner of the property, thereby there is a divesting of the ownership or a transfer of ownership of such property from the ownership of the enemy to the custodian. Full stop. We do not think that such an interpretation can be given for the simple reason that clause within bracket C of section 2 clearly states that enemy property means any property for the time being belonging to or held or managed on behalf of an enemy, an enemy subject or an enemy firm being vested in the custodian. Full stop. Therefore, the provision of the act recognizes the ownership of the enemy with the enemy property, and the enemy property belonging to or held or managed on behalf of an enemy, an enemy subject or an enemy firm being vested in the custodian. Full stop.